Morning, Luckies. Welcome back to the most prominent podcast on YouTube, Mac and Jack's Big Bot Bonanza. I'm your navigator, Makon Crayley. And unfortunately, my assistant Jack has not arrived yet, so in the meantime, we'll talk to a special guest. This burglar who was trying to steal Jack's computer. Mr. Burglar, welcome to the Lucky Channel.
Hey.
Now, looking at my notes here, Mr. Burglar, I see that people refer to you as the Crumpet Crusader. Now please, explain to me how you acquired this name.
Well, you know how it is. Sometimes you really gotta kick some ass on the street, and I find the best way is if you put on a pair of spiky gold cleats and dance on top of somebody who you kick their ass, it tends to leave a lot of holes in them. And, you know, that's one way of spreading fear and loathing, isn't it?
Oh, I imagine it would be. Okay, so given the subject of this podcast, sir, I must ask, have you ever stolen a Battlebot before?
Nope, but that's because they are incredibly difficult to steal if you don't have a handcart, because, you know, they weigh 250 pounds each on average in the current heavyweight meta.
Ah, I see. So you know a lot about Battlebots, even though you have not stolen one. Well, in that case, since the guy I'm meant to be doing the podcast with isn't here yet, and you have some, obviously you have some experience, why don't you join me in... did someone just open the door?
Alright, I'll bite. What the hell is this?
Jack, no, sorry, don't put down the gun! Oh no, he's dead! You killed him! What have you... Oh no, he's sort of walking away now. He's trying to get away. Oh god. Oh, the humanity.
Not on my watch.
Oh no. Oh no! Oh, you've done it. You got him out the window. Good work, Jack. Where the fuck were you, by the way?
You were really trying to embiggen this intro, weren't you?
Look, it was a perfectly cromulent intro! Anyway!
This is what I have to put up with, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, excuse me for trying something different. Anyway, yeah, welcome to the episode. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, well, this is what it's come to, everybody. Matt trying something that nobody ever attempted before, not realizing there was a reason nobody attempted it.
Look,
anyway, I am your never popular host. I am your never popular host, Jack Finney, here to commentate on the latest and greatest episode of Battlebots. Well, greatest, perhaps not as an episode, but with possibly the greatest fight of all time?
Maybe?
Well, let's just wait and see, shall we? Across from me, on the other side of the work, is, as you've all heard, the Mac. How are you doing today, Mac? How are things down in feudal Japan?
We'll talk about it in the off topic. Jack, how is the other side of the work for you?
Well, I had work, so... But I've gone the weekend now, so that's the main thing. And I had Battlebot think about while I was at work today, having gotten to watch it before my shift, so huzzah.
Very good, very good. And now let us get into the Battlebots. We did not have a cold open this time, which is unfortunate. We did get a sign of Kenny's beard, though.
You see, Mac, while I was at work today, I was practically watching the clock, waiting for the clock to tick down so that I could get home and record this episode, and that actually plays into this, because something they highlighted was that the clock was ticking for a number of different teams who would be in this episode. Because time is running out for them to be able to start securing their berth on their way into the round of 32. And yeah, some ended up doing better than others, as you would expect in all of this. They made a point of highlighting Claw Viper's massive glow up throughout this season, and they really, really went out of their way to build up to the monster main event in this episode. What an absolute clash of the Titans, as Cobalt, one of the most destructive robots in all of robot combat history, went up against the Brazilian behemoth, the Brazilian brick, Minotaur. And
Oh,
oh
yes.
boy, we have a lot to talk about with that match later on.
We do.
But all good things in time. But starting us off hot, we had Bloodsport versus Gigabyte. Now, they went out of their way to highlight the fact that, unfortunately, well-known team member of the Gigabyte team, Brent, has been diagnosed with cancer and has been undergoing chemotherapy as a result. We wish Brent all the best as he struggles in his battle with cancer. I myself have lost a number of loved ones to cancer in recent times, so my heart is out there with him. Good luck to you, Brett. I really hope you pull through. I know that you'll kick cancer's ass, buddy.
Yes, hit it with a fucking spinner.
Absolutely. With that, Gigabyte came in, something to prove, as they were up against one of the other big spinny bots in this show, Bloodsport, who have been, a perennial, very strong contender throughout the last few years. It was a battle of the horizontal spinners, this time the shell spinner versus the blade spinner. And at first, it seemed as though Gigabyte was going to be the ones who ended up coming out on top, as Bloodsport started the fight and was actually very, very slow to get its weapon operating. Bloodsport not firing up the weapon for a bit, and Gigabyte, as a result, managed to get up to speed and land a couple of very big shots, including one that seemed like it would end up immobilizing Bloodsport, as Bloodsport seemed to be stuck on its side after getting punted across the arena. Gigabyte ended up freeing them from this predicament, and they were instantly left regretting this, let's be real. Because after that, Bloodsport's weapon fired up, and in short order, Gigabyte ended up losing its weapon as it got hit with a very strong hit by Bloodsport that ended up killing its weapon motor stone dead. Gigabyte still had motion. It was able to use its shell as a wedge, but at that point, it was basically a sitting duck, wasn't it? Yeah. As Bloodsport came in and tore it to pieces. Gigabyte was bleeding to death, and ultimately, Bloodsport beat its ass into unconsciousness.
Yeah, it was basically the Gigabyte special. There was like one massive hit during the fight, and then the fight just ended with Gigabyte being KO'd.
This was just unfortunate for Gigabyte. They started out so strongly, but attempting to be the sportsman and letting Bloodsport continue. It may have been that they thought that they could get a few more good hits in, but fact of the matter is, ended up costing them in the long run.
Yeah, they probably also didn't want the fight to end like that quickly and like in that disappointing a way.
Yep, that does sound about right.
Yeah.
In any case, Bloodsport with a big comeback win, and ultimately, Bloodsport continues to punch its ticket, coming back strongly from its bad loss to Copperhead last time. How far do you see Bloodsport going on all of this, man?
That's a good question. Like, it very much depends on the rest of the season, because I honestly, like, what's its strength of schedule? Like, give me a second to open this up. Because I need to see what its the rest of its schedule is.
It's only had one other fight so far up against Copperhead, a one-hit loss, but Copperhead is also a monster of a machine.
True. Bloodsport. Okay. It's up against Rotator, and it's up against Beta. I corrected myself.
That is a rough couple of opponents for Bloodsport.
Yeah, like it does have a chance against both of them, but like I don't know, like it could, like, depending on how those fights go and like how competitive it is, I think it could barely squeeze into like the into the tournament, like at the very bottom.
I mean, I definitely see it getting into the tournament, but it's going to have a very rough road to get there, depending on how these next two matches go.
Exactly.
Rotator is a nightmare fight for many different teams, and John Reed is one of the best drivers in all of robot combat. So if anybody's got a chance against Bloodsport, it's him. But of course, we also have to consider what would happen if they didn't wait for a good hit. As we saw before, what happens when you fire a hammer into an active spinning weapon against Bloodsport with what happened to Blacksmith and their hammer saw.
exactly. Like, it's gonna be interesting seeing how that match plays out, like, way down, like, in about 7 more episodes. Yeah. Should be
We've got a while to wait then, but yeah, we shall see how this goes.
And
Gigabyte. Oh, what? Gigabyte has had 2 losses so far, hasn't it, Mac?
It has. It's was the first fight on episode 1? Yeah, the first fight is like episode 1, I think. I forget who they lost to.
In any case, they've got a rough road to go, but this is also the team that is fielding Cobalt in all of this. So as a result, that could let's face it, they're going to be getting into the tournament one way or another by hook or by crook.
I don't know
whether or not Gigabyte does is going to be another matter.
Gigabyte. No, I don't think so, because like their next opponent is Starchild, and then the final opponent is Endgame. So.
While we're at this, Mac, how about we have an after-action report from the Gigabyte team themselves, addressing some of what happened during the fight.
Okay, Jack, take it away.
Before the fight, I was concerned about our battery box cover being too thin, and decided to double stack them. I did not factor, however, that the magnesium frame does not hold threads as well as the aluminum, so the reduction in thread count from the double plates ended up screwing us. On the big hit, the 2 covers ejected and disconnected the left side drive ESC, which powers the receiver for that electronic speed controller, and the weapon ESC. The smoke was just tire smoke from trying to crab walk. The drive belt was severed by the panel, which was caught and thrown by the shell. Overall, it was an extremely winnable match, and I would like a rematch with Bloodsport. As you can see in the damage pictures, we crumpled the 1/4 AR-500 beak and dug into the 1/4 AR-500 backer behind it on that big hit before going weapon to weapon. So yeah, we've got some very strong words there from the Gigabyte team, and as you will see in these pictures that I'm going to send to Mac in order to edit in, some very, very strong hits delivered to Bloodsport in all of this as well. So hopefully we will get to see Gigabyte ultimately bounce back from this.
Yeah. Okay, Sam doing zooms just now, so I can have a look at them. I want to see. I want to see the damage. Oh. That is interesting damage. Oof. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, that's some good stuff. Sorry, on the screen.
Gigabyte, could it turn it around? Quite possibly. Never count this team out.
Oh, we shall see. Like, never count any robot out.
Well, except Captain Shredder.
I mean, look, Captain Shredder can't get count out, because they always score the most interesting upsets.
With that, we move on to the second fight of the episode, as we see Overhaul come to tangle with the new and improved possible future king, Claw Viper.
Oh, hell yeah.
This, they really went out of their way, as I mentioned before, to highlight the glow-up that Claw Viper has undergone this season, going from a fairly unheralded machine into an absolute nightmare of a robot in metal. And yeah, we also saw what's to come with Claw Viper as well, knowing that it's going to fight Hypershock in a future episode. Now that's going to be insane.
That is going to be a very interesting match, and like probably one of the matches that will determine who's going to be number 1, or like who's going to be in the top 5 of like the tournament.
That's a real pearl of wisdom there, Mac. Next, you're going to be to say that robot that doesn't beat their opponent will be the loser.
People die when they are killed.
Nobody wants to lose.
Exactly. I mean, look,
the robot that wins the fight is the winner. The floor is made out of floor.
But wait, but what if like losing is more beneficial than winning? Well, I mean, what if this is why you need to watch Hunter x Hunter, Jack?
No, I'm good.
Anyway, yeah, like this was a fight. This was a very fun like mirror match, essentially.
There was a great little bit of pre-fight antics with Overhaul as well, just as they made their always spectacular entrance with their little toy on top of the robot as well. That was awesome. Charles Squad is a treasure.
Yep. Yeah, team having some nice costumes.
Yep, absolutely. Shout out to 2B.
Yeah.
By the way.
This team is just everything that Banshee's team wants to be.
Yeah, it's rather appropriate as well because the Nier Automata anime just returned, didn't it?
It returns this week, next week. It returns soon. Episode 4 comes out soon.
But yeah, Overhaul came into this fight and it was actually a super competitive fight, a fantastic driving match. Claw Viper was smothering Overhaul throughout practically the entire fight, but Overhaul just would not die. Fought back fiercely. Some great driving, great control and aggression. A lot of great slams from both machines as they locked up weapons as well. And ultimately, yeah, this was just such a fun fight, wasn't it, Mac?
It was. Like, Overhaul was a slippery bastard that, like, this Claw Viper could not, like, pick it up. Like, it tried its best, but, like, and eventually it did manage to pick it up, but, like, for the most part, like, it just had to push Overhaul around, like, without being able to pick it up. And we got a few, like, collar and elbow tie-ups, like, and Overhaul did, like, get a good grab on him, but, like, on Claw.
Oh, yeah.
Claw Viper, but yeah.
This is something that needs to be pointed out. Overhaul fought back fiercely in this fight. This was one where it was determined not to go quietly, and it actually managed to get a fantastic late flurry during the fight that stopped it being a total stomp and actually made it incredibly close.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for them, when they managed to get Claw Viper up and over and Claw Viper was self-righting, they backed off rather than pursue it with as much vigor as they could have. And that may have ultimately been what costed it the judge's decision.
Yeah, because, like, if it could have even gone, like, one, like, slam against the barrier, if it managed to pick it up and slam it against the barrier or something, like, that probably could have given it enough to win the fight. But, like,
yeah, it's like Kenny pointed out in the post-match analysis. Had they managed to, like, get in another good slam, that may have tipped the scales in their favor in terms of the damage category.
Yeah, like, it's gonna be one of those what if, like, moments or Battlebots.
Yeah. In any case, it was a fantastic fight. Overhaul has nothing to be ashamed of in this fight. Claw Viper continues to look like an absolute beast, borderline unstoppable as well.
Yeah,
it's great to see. 3-0. Can it progress to 4-0? Well, it's up against Hypershock next. So
it's gotta be a tough
the odds
fight.
Are against them.
Like,
the odds are against them,
yeah.
But I think they could potentially do it.
Like, Hypershock is going to be, like, Claw Viper's ultimate test to see, like, if current or, like, Claw Viper is a championship contender. Like,
I think it's definitely a championship contender.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's just how strong a championship contender it is.
Exactly.
Will be the matter.
Like, yeah, will it be a dark horse or will it be, like, a top contender? Like, we're gonna find out.
One thing's for sure, Mac. When we get around to the end of season awards, Claw Viper is a lock for most improved. There is no way it is not winning that award.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, I honestly, like, I don't see any other robot like that could even reasonably take it.
Yeah, just fantastic machine. I'm so glad to see how well it's doing, and I'm just so proud of how far that team has come.
Exactly. Yeah, it's so good.
Like, you know how much I love Storm 2. Claw Viper is the modern day Storm 2 in all the best ways.
Oh hell yeah!
Except without having to try and control their narrative and everything. But
wait, what? Wait, I'm so huh? Like, I mean, I get the reference, but like, what's the deal there?
A story, Mac, for another time.
You know what? Fair. You know that? Yeah, fair. Okay.
Everybody in the community already knows about this anyway, and I'll explain it to you later.
Honestly, yeah, because like you may have already told me, and like I just forgot, but like I will. Yeah,
Pretty sure I have. Yeah.
But you know what?
But you know what's on? You know what's on the horizon, Mac?
What?
A storm is brewing. You might even say a monsoon. I wonder if that cut off again.
Right at the end. Right at the end. Yes. It's definitely I don't know. It's Discord. Anyway, yeah. Horizon versus Monsoon. It was basically a 5-hit win,
if even that. But let's talk about a little bit about the background first. We saw that Horizon has actually had much success in the lighter weight classes as a concept, and that this is essentially a scaled up version of another beetleweight competitor, or was it a featherweight competitor? Either way, it's a proven design. It just hasn't quite worked out at heavyweight just yet. And of course, you've got to take the time to work out the gremlins with scaling up a design like that anyway. But yeah, Horizon finally coming into this as a big deal. And across from them, looking to come back from their unfortunate loss to Black Dragon the last time they came out, where they were doing so well, only to have a victory snatched from the jaws of defeat by Black Dragon due to having driven over a bolt or a screw that got sucked up and destroyed their weapon motor. Monsoon coming out this time with a new wedge configuration designed to fight horizontal spinners and looking to rain down the pain. Now,
and it did.
Now, this is the thing. There was a lot of interesting stuff going into this, a lot of great highlights of the intros. Something that happened was Monsoon, of course, pushing the button with a cup of tea. Now, something that must be pointed out here, Mac, and this is serious business. Chris said that must be a cup of Earl Grey. This is how we know that Chris does not drink tea. Not all tea is Earl Grey, and I know for a fact that the Monsoon team's preferred variety of tea is a good strong builder's tea such as Yorkshire tea, which, by the way, I happen to be drinking a cup of right now. Shout out to Yorkshire tea, the best tea in all of the land. This is very, very serious business for all the Brits out there. Shout out to everybody who knows. You're just completely no-selling this.
What the fuck are you...
This is tea. This is serious business.
What the fuck?
Now, why did I go on that diatribe? Well, it's quite simple. Monsoon came out and kicked Horizon's ass all over the Battlebots, just punted it all over the place, landed some great hits, and it got counted out. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. That's the summing up of this fight. Monsoon raining down the pain.
It lasted long enough to boil a cup of tea. Probably. Maybe.
Now, something I really liked about this, they really highlighted just how emotional the entire Monsoon team was in all of this. Tom getting presented with the winner's pog. All of the team practically in tears and smiling as, you know, they recounted about how hard the last couple of years have been, not being able to fight robots as much as they would have liked to. You can tell this is a team that absolutely adores being involved in robot combat. And it makes sense because, you know, they're a team of people who grew up watching Robot Wars, much like myself. So I completely understand where they're coming from. And, you know, robot combat is such a big part of their lives. And you know what? It's really great to just see them return to their winning ways as well. I really hope Monsoon can go all the way.
Yeah, when was the last time they won a fight? Because, like, they were on, like, sort of a downward slide, like, last time they were here.
Yeah, the reason for that was that the team had, like, partly split at that point. For example, Tim went off and built his own machine, Ragnarok, which didn't perform well. It was designed pretty much entirely to be able to beat Monsoon, for example. Okay. And, of course, like, they couldn't compete in the first COVID season. And the second COVID season, they got denied the ability to come out, and the robot came over and sat in a crate. But now they're back, they're better than ever, and they're on a tear. Now I'm looking forward to seeing how far they can go.
Absolutely. Like, I hope they can go all the way.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Alright. With that, we come to the next bout of the night. Mammoth versus Starchild. Starring Anna Zolnikov making her debut as a commentator in this fight. That's right, Anna Zolnikov, captain of Friends of the Podcast, Ripperoni. Shout out to you guys.
Hell yeah.
Anna was the guest commentator for this fight alongside Chris and Kenny. And I must say, Mac, she did a fantastic job in all of this.
Oh, yes, you were brilliant, like, the entire fight.
Yep. She was very confident in everything that she said. She did a great technical breakdown in the opening of the fight as well, and she kept up very, very strongly with Chris and Kenny throughout the entirety of the fight as well.
Yeah, quite charismatic.
Yeah. Like, honestly, I think she'd make a great commentator in the future permanently if she ever decided that she didn't want to fight robots herself anymore.
I think,
But of course, we know that Ripperoni is just getting started, so...
Oh, yeah, like, they have a long way to go.
Yeah. Anyway, right, Starchild and Mammoth, the big boy tussle of the season so far.
Yep.
Clearly an attempt by Battlebots to recreate the magic of Mammoth versus Huge from a number of years ago, with mixed results.
Okay, so this was, like, half of this fight was, well, not even half, like, 2% of this fight was, fun. The other percent was just, like, Starchild, like, jumping into a brick wall. Actually, not even a brick wall, like, the wall of a bouncy castle.
We opened up with a couple of big hits, Cirque des Bots 2.0, it seemed, as well, as Mammoth ended up getting toppled up and over by Starchild, who also went flying into the bargain, and managed to land a hit on Mammoth, but ultimately, this was not something that they could sustain. Starchild, the problem with them is it's a very, very difficult robot to control, and Mammoth has a lot more experience in regards to controlling the style of robot that it is. And ultimately, Mammoth ended up taking over this fight's control and just kind of bullied Starchild, who wasn't even really able to fight back at that point and more just flail angrily until the bell.
Yeah.
Particularly after they got stuck together and eventually managed to shake each other apart. But yeah, after that it was just slow going and Mammoth just basically bullying Starchild around the box up until the judge's decision. Not a great fight. A clear attempt to replicate Mammoth and Huge, as I mentioned earlier, with mixed results. Mammoth was, however, well driven this and deservingly won the judge's decision. I am hoping that Starchild can come back from this and, actually deliver on some of its potential, but it's a bit of an uphill struggle for them at this point, considering who they've still got to face.
Yeah, the next fight should be, like, a bit better for them, because they're up against, Gigabyte. But actually, are they up against Gigabyte next, or is it someone else?
I don't see that going well for them.
I mean, then, like, it's the right size of robot. Like, it's just gonna depend on if they can get a hit in before Gigabyte absolutely wrecks this shit.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the reasons that you don't really see torque action thwackbots in the modern day meta. It's very difficult to sustainably compete with that type of machine in the current day, it seems.
Yeah. I mean, like...
Unless you're at sportsman events where, the spinners are run a little bit less destructively.
True. Oh god, they're fighting fucking Huge.
Yeah.
That's...
Huge is gonna wreck them.
Yeah. We've
seen how good Huge is this season.
God, they did not get a fucking good set of robots to fight. Like, they were just given the worst robots to show off against.
I really hope that Brandon Zielinski can come back with an improved version of P1 next year, because I would love to see P1 or P1's evolution.
P2. P1.
And as we saw at the end of this fight, as he was waving her off, Chris accidentally referred to Anna as Anna Zielinski rather than Anna Zolnikov. Now, like a true pro, he immediately turned this into a bit, and that's why it wasn't left on the cutting room floor.
Yeah, he's a fucking legend. Like, he knew...
I love Chris.
Like, that was on-the-spot decision-making to make himself look like an idiot.
Yeah.
Well, slightly less of an idiot, but playing up that he's an idiot. And I appreciate that
Anna
because that's my gimmick.
Zolnikov. Chris, idiot.
From one idiot to another, I
We
approve.
love Chris. He has so much personality. I love the guy so much.
Oh hell yeah! Like all of them have fucking personality. It's fucking, it's the best.
Oh yeah, absolutely fantastic. And more entertaining than the actual fight itself. Anyway, moving on.
Triton versus
I'm not trying to be, but yeah.
What was it? Yeah, you're trying to.
Anyway.
Yeah, Triton versus Copperhead.
Triton versus Copperhead. One thing's for sure, Mac. I miss Cuddles the snake.
Look, we have. There's a baby now. It's not like you don't need a snake. You have a baby.
But Mac, how is that a positive? I'd much rather have the snake.
You're just saying that because you don't like children.
Hey, I like children well enough.
Jack, you always complain to me about children, about how they're always trying to get into your set, about how they're trying to ruin your yard.
Well, look, I hate the children in my area because they make a point of messing with me. Children as a whole, I'm all right with. I get on fine with kids. I'm the honorary uncle to a lot of kids.
Okay, fair. But you know who isn't an uncle anymore? Fucking Triton, because he had his entire ass ripped out.
Yeah, it looks like Triton is going to be spending the rest of its life in the iron butt.
The iron butt.
They really made a point of highlighting the verts versus horizontal spinners meta in the intro to this fight. But all of the King's horses and all the King's men couldn't put Triton's ass back together again when Copperhead came through and literally disemboweled it, tore its ass out of its ass.
Fucking Christ.
Now, to Triton's credit, I guess, in its dying throes, it managed to actually take Copperhead out with it, as it managed to sweep one of its batteries underneath Copperhead and beach it on the spot, managing to score a double knockout as a result.
One of the most perfect accidental fuck yous I've ever seen.
This is, as I've alluded to before, this is like the story of the Chihuahua that killed the Great Dane by getting stuck in its throat.
Holy fuck.
But yeah, life in the iron butt for Triton moving forward. This really goes to show just how well-engineered Tombstone's design is, because Triton is intended to be like a logical evolution of Tombstone, but we see just how hard it is to get that design right and stay successful, as Ray Billings' experience and expertise with the robot has shown.
Yeah, fucking Christ, Triton, it's literally just a dollar store Tombstone. It's kind of incredible. But yeah, also a display of how good Copperhead is.
Oh yeah, dude, Copperhead, nightmare opponent for many different machines. It's so powerful. I love that robot so much. It's so compact as well. I just love that compact little drum spinner.
Maybe one day the
snake will come back. I hope it goes far. In any case, insane hit and definitely the knockout of the night so far.
Oh, absolutely. But you know what else? I don't even have a chance. I don't know why I keep trying to transition. Lucky versus Kraken. Let's go.
Oh, yes. Oh, man.
This was sad.
They did a nice job of highlighting both teams going into this as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they had a nice little highlight package for both robots as well. And, you know, this is a match where I didn't want either team to lose in all of this. We all know that you're going to root for Lucky no matter who it's up against.
Of course. But, I didn't want it to go like this.
I'm always going to be on the side of Kraken. And unfortunately, yeah, this just... This didn't work out the way that we'd hoped. Kraken, unfortunately, having major control issues out of the gate, seeming to have a partially disabled drive. As a result, we didn't get to see the excellent driving that the team is largely known for, and Kraken basically got its ass kicked and punted all over the arena.
Exactly.
To its credit, it did manage to hang into a judge's decision, but it was completely academic. There was no way that it was going to end in any way other than Lucky taking the win. Yeah. It's a real shame because I would have loved to have seen what Kraken could have done up against Lucky at full strength. Because Kraken, as we know, it is a great robot. It's absolutely fantastic. It's It's impeccably well driven. Normally, unfortunately on this occasion, it's just the drive motor seemed to fail it.
Yeah, okay, so to this match's credit, we did see a lot of good flips from Lucky.
They also seem to be starting to burn out by the end of it, though.
That's true. I think at the end, even before the end, their weapon, I think it got jammed, or something. It got bent, in some way, because it just wasn't working, and it ended up getting burnt out by the end. But before then, they got a lot of good flips, and they kept Kraken on the shelf for a long time.
It does make me wonder though, just how it would have gone had Kraken been in a position where it could have properly fought back.
That would have been that. I think that would have been a fun fight.
Probably wouldn't have ended well for Lucky.
It maybe not, but it depends on how the driving would have been. Because Lucky is a good, Lucky does have a good driver.
True, but at the same time, yeah, we've seen just how fantastically driven Kraken is normally.
Yeah, exactly.
So without one motor, who knows?
Yeah, but I mean, hopefully they can run it back at some point, with everything working. But hey. Unfortunately, this is just how it landed today.
True. Very poor stroke of luck for Kraken, pun intended. Fingers crossed. Hopefully, they come back from this.
I hope so, because they have. Oh, who are they fighting next? Kraken. Next up for them is Oh god, Copperhead.
Yeah.
Please get your shit ready. And then Mammoth.
Well, it's nice to know that Kraken won't end the season winless.
Hopefully, God.
I kid. But I really hope Kraken gets the chance to get it dialed in. But man, this is a rough schedule for them this year.
It is.
With that, we come to the main event of the evening, with an excellent hype built for it throughout the episode, really giving it that massive big fight feel, and a nice little shout out to Brent as well, as we got to see just how much all of the other Roboteers absolutely adore him, as well as the other people behind the scenes. Get well soon, Brent, we love you. We got Minotaur versus Cobalt!
What? What a fucking match! Everything.
What an absolute slugfest match.
Everything surrounding this match was fucking perfect. The hype package, before Lucky versus Kraken was absolutely amazing, and it also confirmed that Daniel is indeed Minotaur.
Yes, that was quite the shot, wasn't it?
It was.
But yeah, they're really building on the whole pro wrestling style presentation with this show, which is exactly what this show needs. It only makes sense after all. And yeah, this one had arguably the most hype of any main event bout this entire season, aside from maybe Hydra versus Tantrum, which unfortunately didn't quite live up to the hype. But this one more than made up for that, Mac, didn't it?
Oh, this match made up for pretty much every main event so far. Every single one of them.
This was insane. Balls to the wall from start to finish. As two of the heaviest hitting monsters in all of the field finally locked horns in the rematch of arguably the rematch of the century at the very least since Blacksmith versus Minotaur before. Minotaur does have a tendency to come together for fantastic rematches, doesn't it?
Minotaur is a fucking workhorse.
Work you might say a work bull.
Yeah, I literally said that. Oh god, but yeah, Cobalt started this match off fucking hot. It took it got some good like hits on Minotaur.
Oh yeah, starting out with some massive early shots from Cobalt as it managed to land big hit after big hit. Minotaur fighting back very gamely, managing to take out one of Cobalt's forks, which severely reduced its effectiveness moving forward. It still stayed very strong throughout the rest of the fight, but it couldn't quite deliver as strong a hits as it did before. It evened it up a little, but Cobalt did manage to remain in control. Minotaur ending up taking more hits after this, and over time we really began to see that cumulative damage just really add up, didn't we, Mac?
We did.
Minotaur ended up ultimately starting to lose a little bit of mobility, and even bursting into massive plumes of smoke over time as well. Like it was turning into a fucking inferno within that robot from the look of it.
I mean, look, we all know that Minotaur will survive fucking fire. Like, it does not care. But Minotaur...
Minotaur gives no fucks. It is stubborn as a bull.
Oh my god, basically. Minotaur eventually does manage to get one of Cobalt's forks off, though, which slowly starts to turn the momentum.
I've just thought of the perfect comparison here, Mac.
Yeah.
Minotaur really showing that bull power here as it continues trucking on after eating a monster hit like that. Do you see where I'm going here?
Does it have wings?
This right here, Mac, was the equivalent of Big Van Vader getting hit by Stan Hansen so hard that he broke his orbital bone and his eyeball came out of his socket and he just popped it back in and finished the match.
Fuck, that's actually amazing. Holy shit.
Because after this, even as it seemed to be on its last legs, Minotaur stayed calm, stayed control, and managed to get the other fork and get them up and over, stop the weapon, right as it was starting to smoke fiercely, as Cobalt was unable to recover from this awesome comeback to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, and easily the fight of the night, nay, the fight of the season so far. This was a masterpiece in terms of robot combat.
This is easily an all-timer. Like, this match was fucking amazing.
Abso-fucking-lutely. Now, we will also include a little bit of a comment here that was posted on Reddit by the Cobalt team, breaking down some of what happened in this fight. Mac, here we go again.
Okay.
So, we came into the fight betting on the forks doing work, which they did for most of the match. As long as they stayed planted and Minotaur couldn't land side shots, we were fine. Of course, the forks fell off, but the fight was still winnable due to how tight the time was by the end. Why Cobalt died, note, a self-writer would not have saved the match, was that some of the brushes in the motor ended up getting stuck in the housing, so they were not touching the armature and giving it power. So once we were flipped and the weapon was not at proper speed, it was over. Damage-wise, we suffered some dents and cuts on the frame, but it was overall in fine shape, though the weapon tooth was a bit chewed. The motor was fine, but the SSR ended up needing replacement, along with the batteries. Minotaur suffered from a pretty cooked frame and drum and a broken drive motor. We will be revising the forks to take on Minotaur again. And coupled with this, we're going to include some pretty juicy photos of what Minotaur was looking like after the match. Like, for example, Mac, take a look at what had become of Minotaur's drum by the end of things.
Oh, it's already on screen, but let me see. Oh my god, holy fuck!
Now, we know how thick that drum is, right?
It looks like fucking cheese!
Right? Melted cheese at that.
That's awesome!
Minotaur is tougher than old boots. And look at all of the damage that Cobalt did to it.
That is... actually, like, Cobalt, what a fucking killer. Like... absolutely.
Like... Mac, this match was perfection.
Yeah. Like,
and as our good buddy Six said, amazing main event, barring any issues, one of these guys will be world champion this year. And you know what? I could buy it.
Yeah. Like,
these two have the entire field on notice.
Like, fucking...
And honestly, Mac,
Yeah.
I could totally see this being the year that Minotaur finally takes it all.
I mean, yeah, like, honestly, yeah, I think Minotaur's actually gonna do it. Like, cause it is the fucking the Nokia 2300 of robots, so I think it can do it.
They really could. And, you know, were it not for that judge's decision last year, they may be the reigning champs for all we know.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Like, this is gonna be a very interesting season for Minotaur.
And even then, as we saw, Cobalt could end up taking it all as well, and we could finally see a true Triple Crown Robot Combat World Champion.
This is extremely exciting. Like, the field is so fucking good right now. Like, there's like 7 different robots. Actually, not even 7. Like, probably 10 robots right now that could reasonably take the crown, take the nut even.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This sport is just stacked with quality machines from top to bottom at this point, and I am here for all of it. A sport that legitimately gets better every passing year.
You love to see
With
it.
that, Mac, we come to the end of the episode. Great breakdown at the end, and oh my god, what an amazing ending to a great episode.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Like, there were some duds in this fight. There were some duds in this episode, but you know,
The strong fights made up.
What was great really made up for it.
Yeah, the strong stuff made up for the weak stuff. Like, it was perfectly, like, it was symbiotic. Basically.
Yeah, like after all, we saw an incredibly strong contender for possibly the best fight ever.
Absolutely. Alright, so now let us get to the awards. The big awards.
Yep. We'll start out this week with the knockout of the night, which was a fairly obvious decision. Copperhead putting Triton into the iron butt forever.
Yep. Technically, this was a double knockout, but come on. This was a proper knockout.
That was the best knockout blow of the week.
It was.
So great that it even knocked itself out without even damaging itself.
Look, it wanted to take a nap. Like, it allowed it basically did allow itself to just let it happen.
Let's be real, Copperhead was just taking a seat on one of Triton's batteries to watch it get counted out.
Yeah, it was like sitting on it like a fucking throne. Okay, so yeah, good work, Copperhead.
Oh yes, fantastic job, Copperhead. You've won yourself another knockout of the night, because if I remember correctly, its knockout of Bloodsport also won it the knockout of the night honors for that week, didn't it?
I think so. I think it did.
Alright, Copperhead, unstoppable knockout of the night machine!
It is. Alright, the Spike Dudley Award. Jack, who do we have?
Right, okay, drumroll everybody. In an irregularity this week, there wasn't really a performance in the box that really merited the Spike Dudley Award this week for our underdog victory of the week. So, with that in mind, Mac and I came to a decision, and the Spike Dudley Award for the week goes to Anna Zolnikov for her absolutely fantastic stint in the commentary booth, where she more than held her own up against veteran Battlebots announcers Chris and Kenny, and in Chris's case, maybe even outperformed him. So, fantastic job, Anna. You've won yourself an award this week without even stepping foot into the box. Congratulations.
Yeah, good work. You set a new standard for these awards. Literally anyone can win one for any reason now.
Underdog performance of the week like that, being better than the established announced team themselves.
I can't wait for the knockout of that kind of night to go to Farouk and Kenny fighting.
You mean for one of Farouk's intros?
Yeah, it is. Let's jump into the box and let's start brawling for an intro.
Matt, are you trying to put it into our viewers' heads that we rigged the awards for Anna because her team is now a friend of the podcast?
No. That's just a fucking happy coincidence. I mean, it also helps that there was actually no one who really could have actually gotten the award other than her.
Yeah, this is true, to be honest. Yeah, there really were just no other big underdog performances of the week other than her sterling turn in the commentary booth. So congratulations, Anna.
Yeah.
With that, we come on to best loser of the night, the best performing loser in the box, and honestly, there was no other real candidate for this other than Cobalt, who looked to have Minotaur well in hand before they ultimately got taken out towards the end of the fight.
Yeah, like it was pretty much razor thin, like for a long time, and like Cobalt going out the way it did was absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, and it was a real last-ditch effort from Minotaur to knock them out as well, because while I could totally have seen it going to the judges, I think had it gone to the judges, I think Cobalt would ultimately have won that decision.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, they did to Minotaur what practically no other machine has done to them so severely before, with the exception of when Sawblaze beat its ass, of course.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But yeah, Minotaur, tough as hell, and ultimately left in that condition by Cobalt. That puts the entire field on notice. We do have an honourable mention for Best Loser this week, and that was Overhaul for its brilliant performance in the match against Claw Viper.
Oh, yeah. Like, that Overhaul did a great job, like, staying neck and neck with Claw Viper.
Yeah, great fierce fight back by them, and well done, Just One. As a result, you get your honourable mention in regards to the Best Loser of the week.
Yes, no image, but you get mentioned, so good work.
Alright, okay. Best driver of the week. Ultimately, it's got to go to Minotaur this week, hasn't it, Mac? Because of the absolutely fantastic driving that Daniel Freitas demonstrated in the fight, remaining cool, calm, and collected, even as Cobalt was inflicting horrific damage on his machine, and ultimately managing to win through a tenacious fight back, even as it seemed like the machine was starting to die.
Yeah, like it danced around as best it could. It did all the things it needed to, and it sniped both of the forks off and managed to win. Like it was perfect driving.
Yeah, fantastic job. Honorable mention for best driver, of course, goes to Claw Viper for putting on yet another driving clinic in its fight with Overhaul, where it ultimately managed to come back despite a fierce flurry by Overhaul in the end, and ultimately snare the judge's decision.
Yeah.
But yeah, another great episode in terms of driving. Finally, we have Fight of the Night. We've already covered this.
Of course.
Minotaur versus Cobalt.
Wait, what? I thought it was going to Starchild versus Mammoth.
Mac, get out of here.
Well, if I do, yeah, I'm taking the fucking recording with me.
Mac, you're literally as far on the other side of the world from me as you can be. I'd like you to go a little bit further, please.
Yeah. I moved my chair slightly.
Good enough. Splice in some reaction shots of me and shove it on the air.
But yeah, Minotaur versus Cobalt. Like, literally nothing could have touched this, even if they tried. Like, this was absolute perfection.
Like we said, this is a candidate for the best fight ever, quite frankly. So, yeah, it was easily winning Fight of the Night here, and so far, it's a lock for Fight of the Season when we do the End of the Year award.
Oh, yeah. Like, it's pretty much the #1 choice right now. Like, we do not need to look back at the rest of them.
Congratulations, Minotaur and Cobalt, on another fantastic performance.
Excellent job.
With that, we come to our off-topic segment of the week. And Mac, there is only one thing that can be discussed at this time, isn't there?
Yes, so a few days earlier than like it's meant to come out, Like a Dragon Eastern came out for people who pre-ordered it. And I played 90 minutes of it so far. And that was only because like the download took a long time to finish, and I had to stop to record this podcast.
Yes. Right, okay, so for those who don't know, Like a Dragon, aka Ryuga Gotoku, as it's known in Japan, and better known in the West as the Yakuza series of games, finally released its remastered version of the until now released only in Japan Ryoga Gotoku Ishin. Set in feudal Japan, this covers previous historical equivalents of our modern series characters such as Kazuma Kiryu, Goro Majima, and other absolutely fantastic series mainstays in what is honestly one of the greatest video game series of all the times.
Okay,
Mac,
I want to make a
tell
quick...
us a little bit about the game itself.
Okay, so first I want to make a... let me just... give me a second. I want to... is that right? I want to make a quick correction here. Not feudal Japan. Like, everyone wants to say that, but it's not, because feudal Japan was like it ended in 1603.
Ah, I see.
I think this is the Edo period? I actually don't know which period this is.
Okay, yeah, my mistake, everybody.
Yeah, because it's like one of those things that like everyone wants to say feudal Japan for like samurai, but like yeah, it's just one of those like I guess collective conscious things, you know. But anyway,
I may be thinking of the previous Like a Dragon game that legitimately was set in feudal Japan, which was Kenzan, I think.
Yeah, because this is like the second one, isn't it? Like the second game that like was this type of thing. Actually, let me just have a look what era this was, because this is either the Meiji early Meiji era or what's the other or like late Edo.
Right. Okay. So Kenzan was set in the Edo period in 1605, whereas Ishin is set in 1860s Japan during the Bakumatsu era at the end of the Edo period.
Ah, very good.
Yep, we're going in depth on this, everybody. Mac and I absolutely adore this series of games. This is probably my favorite series of games ever, to be honest.
Yeah,
and I only discovered them the other year.
Oh yeah, true. I only played like most of them like, oh god, like 2021. Yeah, like late 2020, early 2021. Like I played them.
Which was around the time that I was introduced to them as well, because I was supposed to be going to Japan at the end of 2020, and unfortunately things went disastrously for me at the last moment as they brought in the travel ban, so I came back and immediately started playing through all the Yakuza games. Yep. And then in 2022, I finally made it to Japan, though had to return, unfortunately, due to unfortunate familial circumstances as well as some contract issues. But while I was there, I got to visit one of the locations from the game. Yeah, it was amazing. Dotonbori, which is known in the games as Sotenbori, and dude, take me back. I miss it so much.
We'll go back at some point to what's wrestling. It's okay.
I will, definitely. God. But yeah, everybody, get this game and play it. You heard it from Mac.
Mac. We didn't hear. So, from what I played so far, like this is very, very fun. Like, the story seems pretty good so far. Like, I haven't gone too far into it because, like, again, only like 90 minutes in. But like, yeah, like the combat's really fun. Basically, the combat is gone. Like, Yakuza 0 had like three or four fighting styles, I think, and like this game has like 4 fighting styles. Like you have the sword, you have your fist, you have a gun, and you have a gun and a sword. And like you can switch between them. And
what do you do when you're being threatened with a sword, Mac? Use a gun.
Exactly.
And if that don't work, use more gun.
Gun sword.
This game really shows that despite what Star Wars would tell you, Han Solo was right when he said ancient weapons are no match for a good blaster at your side, right?
True. I mean, it could go the Final Fantasy VIII route and just have the gun be the sword, and vice versa.
I mean, considering that the samurai themselves pretty much immediately abandoned their swords when they got guns, I think that tells you all you need to know.
True. They love their guns. But yeah, combat's really fun. I'll say there's not a lot I can say like just out off the cuff because like I've literally only started the game, so like I can't really attest to like the story and all that. But like from like the brief period I've spent playing, I'm enjoying the game so far. Like it's Yakuza. Not like Yakuza. It's like a dragon. I love the series. I love these type of games. It's so good. Also,
I can't wait to play it myself.
yeah. Also, there's a option in the settings to like have the screen be like to like put the vignette on the screen, so like it's sort of like a historical video. Like a yeah.
You mean kind of like Kurosawa mode in Ghost of Tsushima?
Basically, yeah. Like it's not like black and white, but it's like it's got like the vignette and like the I guess I don't know what type of TV you call it. Like I don't know, the film grain or whatever.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, it's real cool.
Awesome.
But yeah, I recommend getting this game.
Yep, everybody buy it. It will convince them to make even more Like a Dragon games. It that foothold in the West that it deserves even more so.
Oh hell yeah, do it, cowards.
Sorry.
I know. I was just gonna say that like I have no qualms calling my fans cowards.
Bold of you to assume that we have fans.
We have 2 fans at least, at very least, and I appreciate both of them. Maybe even more. Who knows? I appreciate it. I do appreciate everyone who reads, who watches.
Oh yeah, dude! Everybody who listens to our podcast, we love you. Like, thank you so much for listening. Knowing that some people out there really do listen to our insane ramblings does make it all worthwhile.
Like even times where we don't know what to even say, like, because I barely know what to say at all. Like I am not good at the speaking.
Yeah. With that, everybody, we come to the end of the episode. Cannot wait to see next week's BattleBots episode and cannot wait to see you all again. Until then, Stay safe. Hopefully by then I'll have gotten to play Ishin myself.
Hopefully.
Alright. Take it easy, gang. Have a good one.
Goodbye.